Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33 teachings for your past, present and future. Good morning, everybody. It is the 2nd of September. I am back home in Auckland, New Zealand, and I have been on a wonderful trip to Austin, Texas, which I'll tell you a little bit more about now that I'm back. But welcome to all the new listeners, subscribers, app members. It's been a really magical week for me in many ways. I'm sure there's been some crying here and there during the week too. I'm never dishonest about who I am or the different faces of me, but overall, amazing week. And I'm really looking forward to going through what's been going on and for you to reflect in your own life how the Monday mantra has played out. Now, for those of you who are just joining me and joining the rest of us listening to these Monday mantras, I've been doing them for years. I didn't care whether it was one person listening or thousands of people listening. I do them for me also because I'm on this journey with you. And I don't predict things here because I feel like we need to move beyond predictions and look at what we can do. And these lessons that I'm given are guided by spirit. They come to me as broken down weekly mantras that you can use as your screensaver, that you can navigate your life with, that you can bring experiences that are happening in your life back to the Monday mantra. And those of you who have been on this journey with me for a long time, you will know the more aligned and connected you are, the more that you're doing your meditations and your weekly homework and really questioning things in the way that I'm teaching you, you'll see the Monday mantras play out really easily. Now, you all know that I've created the app for you, and I know there's been a lot of new people on the app, and I'm so grateful and welcome you all. Now, the reason why we have the link not on the app stores is because if I do have it on the app stores and make it very easy for everyone to download and pay, is because I would have to be charging about triple the amount to actually, the amount the app stores take. So there is an extra step, and that step is, for me, proving everyone's commitment is how far they're willing to go, and I think that's really important. So if you're needing help, email Kieran at soul33@gmail.com and get her help. But if you've registered on the app, check your spam folder, because in your spam folder, there will be an email from Free Vocal. It usually goes into spam. Free Vocal is the system in which the app is supported on, and you follow the instructions there. Still, if there's any problems, please do not suffer in silence, and don't leave a message in the group chat about IT issues, because there's so many of you that we are unable to figure out who you are. So Kieran is on top of that, soul33@gmail.com. I actually can't believe, again, I know I say this all the time, it is the 2nd of September. Now, the way that you should be listening, or I encourage you to listen to the Monday mantras, is listen on Monday, listen on Wednesday, listen on Friday. And they're like chapters of a book. You're not meant to just forget last week's or the weeks before. You'll see them weaving in and out of your weeks, and that's what they should be, because energy flows. And if you have to catch up on some Monday mantras, go back and listen to them, and they all still apply. It's just that I like to make it very easy for everybody so that you know what you need to consider, you know what I and the spirit guides are wanting all of us to look at, including myself. Now, I always start with a recap of the week before I share what I want to share and what I can share around my life, so that you can think about what it is that you can apply the Monday mantra to. Now, I came back from Texas. I had the most amazing time. Those of you who've been following me will see how the Krishna energy followed me to Austin, where I went to the Peacock Sanctuary. And then I shared on my stories something amazing last week, which I'll share with you in a minute, that happened. Because, like I said, magical week for me in many ways. But your Monday mantra last week, I'm focused on my purpose and bring new meaning to my life. I'm focused on my purpose and bring new meaning to my life. Now, the peacock in Sanskrit is called Mayura, which translates to the killer of snakes. Now, those of you who are getting to know me, I don't read spiritual books. In fact, when I listen to podcasts, they're usually health podcasts or business podcasts, because those are sides to me also. I'm not just all spiritual all the time, even though it is my full-time work and purpose. But the peacock and the snake has been totem animals that have been coming through really strongly. And for me, both of those powers have been really symbolic with working with us at the moment. The snake and the peacock together symbolizes time. Now, you will all hear me say, I get younger and younger every day. I fundamentally feel that because it's the spiritual energies that keep me youthful. It is my naivety, the Fool card from last week that came up in my third eye before I sat to record this. It's that just going through life with being curious, not being restricted all the time. Sure, my controlling side absolutely can restrict, but as I grow, as I flow, I see how working with these totem animals is giving us and giving me the ability to just be free in how I approach my life, and rather than calculating time all the time. There is no time in the universe. This is why when I do my work and when I speak to people, usually if I remember it comes through, don't hold on to the timing, because we are the ones that restrict ourselves and that prevent the timing from being what we want. Rather, the spirit will go, okay, well, they're putting obstacles up or they're trying to sabotage. Last week, we started off with Krishna's celebration of Janmashtami. Now, I just want to make a bit of a disclaimer here. I grew up in a Hindu family, but my family always instilled in me and my sister that everything is one. That is how I live my life. I don't see one religion better than the other. Yes, I work with Christ consciousness energy, but I also work with what comes to me. I don't just go, I'm going to seek that out, and that's exclusively what I do. Things come to me and I look into that. I research that spiritually. When Krishna came to me on July 21st, when I was walking on the beach, I was like, I never really thought about Krishna before. I know who he is. I don't know a huge amount about him. And there was a whole month-long journey of Krishna's energy, to the point I got home last week, and now I've been into the shop one time before, and it's actually a tailoring shop because I needed to get some pants of mine hemmed. And I've been in there before, and I knew the lady was Russian, and she speaks Russian, and she has a Russian accent, and she is the tailor at this place that I go to. Now, the first time I went there a year ago or whatever to hem whatever else I was hemming, just normal conversation, didn't see any Krishna, anything anywhere, obviously because his energy hadn't come to me yet. When I went early last week, I walked in and, I tried on my pants, and she did the measurements and all of that. And then she said to me, would you like a bliss ball? And I said, did you make them? And she said, I did make them. And she said, I'm celebrating a very big celebration. And I said, what's that? And she said, Krishna Janmashtami. Now, I want to tell you, I live in New Zealand. This woman is not of any Indian descent at all, which is why I have said the disclaimer of everything is one. You don't need to be of Indian descent or Catholic ancestry or anything to be receiving signs and guidance and messages from the divine. And I was a little bit in shock because I was going there quite jet lagged still, but with the agenda of getting my pants hemmed. But Krishna was there, and it was just quite amazing. And I accepted her beautiful gift, which was the sweet nectar of life from Krishna, because that's what the sweetness is about. And those of you listening will know that we've got the Nectar of Life meditation. If you haven't done it yet and you're just new on that, go and do that, because you're hearing me talk about it. But when I went to India 6 weeks ago, whatever it was, that honey energy, that nectar, that sweetness of life. And I was quite in shock. And I didn't say anything to her at the time, but I walked out thinking, because at the end, when she gave me the sweet, she said, Krishna is with you. And I was thinking, oh my God, I know that, but I just wasn't expecting to have that happen. So that's when I came home and I recorded that message showing you the bliss ball that I had made for her. And it's so funny because there's a couple of tailors in my area, and both of them I've been to before, and neither are better than the other. They're both amazing tailors. But when I was walking down the road, I could have gone to the other one, but Spirit had said go to the one that I went to. And now I know it was Krishna guiding me to receive even more validation that this energy was around, and that Krishna celebration was early last week for a couple of days, and it's helping that flow, that freeness into the week that we had, into our lives, like the Fool in the tarot deck, walking with just trust and walking with knowing that we are supported. We need both the powers of the snake and the peacock. It's so interesting. There's peacocks on this dress that I haven't worn in a long time. And because the weather is nice here in New Zealand at the moment, because we're going into spring, I pulled this dress out of my wardrobe and examined it a little bit more and saw the peacocks all over my dress. But we need both of those energies now to stand strong in our focus. Now, those of you who don't know this, I had the privilege of being on Amelia Oritz's Just Tap In podcast, and it was released last week. It wasn't recorded that long ago. And I just want to express my utmost gratitude for thousands of emails that have come through. I never expect anything when I do these things, because I'm not doing it for anything. I don't need anything. Like I said, if there was only one of you listening, it's like a diary entry for me, talking to you about what I'm picking up and what we need to learn, what I need to learn. And I just realized that people were emailing because they want to be focused on what they're here to do. But that is a journey. Like for me, sure, I had my awakening at 33, but not immediately. It was like I still carried on, and there's been so much crying, and there's been so much dying, and there's been so much trying to figure it out. But this focus right now, which so many of you are wanting, is going to come from your internal strength. And this is why last week when I was meditating, the Hermit card was showed to me with the snake following behind. And I was like, okay. And if you look at the cards, the Tarot and the Hermit, one is facing forward with his, little thing on the back with his sack. And the Hermit is facing the light with the snake following, like walking towards the light with the star and the light. And what I noticed in Texas, obviously the star is a symbol there. And I was thinking, wow, everything is communicating with me while I'm here. Where Mercury has gone direct now, so I felt that clearing immediately. The Sunday just gone, I woke up in the morning because we're going into spring here in New Zealand. And you can still apply this because it's a change in energy. The energy shifted, that cleansing, that clearing, and we begin the week on a new moon because there is this main event occurring. Now, the main event for me, I didn't realize that Amelia was going to be launching the podcast, was that it was like, oh, suddenly a light has shined on what I do and that I exist in the world. And it is a revelation for me, but it's also a revelation for all the people that watch the show and who continue to watch the show and that get something out of it, even though some of you have been on this journey with me right from the beginning when I'm figuring this out still. Our minds and communication are clearer now. We can focus on new meaning in our life. I found myself last week with both the Hermit and both the Fool energy. And when I thought about meaning, it's like me being focused on my purpose. My purpose is to be the best version of me all the time. I don't subscribe to any external fears. Sure, I have some come up within myself sometimes, and I look into that and heal that. But I am focused on being the best that I can be in all ways, and therefore sharing that with you because I have the ability to see people for who they are. And the more choices that are being presented to us now, if we are aligned with that truth of being the best version that we can be at all stages of life, the choices being presented to us are giving us the ability to feel safe and secure rather than subscribing to the fears of the collective. We want to be able to walk away from something or someone and hold your head high in pride. Now, pride, I know, can be a word that can maybe sometimes be connected to the ego. Well, not maybe, sometimes it can be connected to the ego, but we all have ego. It's just that we manage it. We need to manage it. Some people don't know how to manage it. I was told last week in spirit not to be inflated by things and not to be deflated by things. And by nature now, who I am, because I'm not doing things to perform, to be liked or loved, is I'm not inflated by either. It's like, oh, okay, that's nice, and then move on. I'm not looking to be fueled by the feedback of the collective or by the individual. I'm here on my focused path to help you and to help myself, because without me being the best version of me, I will not be helping as many people as I try to with the work that I do. So this transition phase is about to end and align you with who you want to be. Trust the choices that are coming up and know that you are making them to come back to that place of safety and security. And I'm talking beyond safety and security of our homes and of money. I'm talking about that true safety in who we are. Standing strong in our power and the focus on various purposes that we have in our lives. Now, I know people will see me and think, oh, she's the spiritual healer and available all the time. I actually live quite a quiet life. I do my work. I support as many people as I can face-to-face, one-on-one, but I am only one person, so therefore I have the app to help as many people as I can in the other services. But I'm also a partner. I am a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm all of those things. And you might find yourself trying to fit into one box. You don't need to. We're multifaceted people, and we're meant to be in order for us to be able to receive all the gifts that life has to offer. You might have found yourself being the voice of reason last week, activating a strength you forgot or perhaps you didn't know you had. Now, when I recorded that podcast or anything that I do on other people's platforms, never assume anybody's going to listen or never assume that anybody is going to resonate. But it was amazing because I felt like, wow, so many of you that message, you all received different things from it. And I loved that because you're all focusing on different things. There may be repeated events that historically have happened which may trigger some form of shame, but it is asking you to feel safe in knowing that you have the ability to break old cycles. I think it was around the 29th, which is what is intuitively coming to me right now, the 29th of September, where there was this almost like a collision type of energy. And that collision is that death and rebirth cycle. And that's what I mean by that. I certainly felt that and found myself being a hermit with the light going, okay, well, if no one wants to do that with me, I'm going to go do it myself. And it was almost like taking a stand off my focus, but also knowing that I don't need to fall into shame or nor make another person feel shamed by their decision of whatever that was going on in that situation I'm trying to describe to you. Backing yourself either through aligned action will be something that's coming up to show your worth within yourself. Like when you back yourself, and it's coming from a place of not having to prove anything. You're just backing yourself to be you. It's very important during this transition now into September that you allow yourself to feel heard, but strong and clear in your decisions. The whole month of August has been a very powerful month for me. There's been lots of rewards in many ways, rewards that I wasn't expecting because I don't have expectations of any rewards. It's, again, not the inflation, not the deflation. I just do for the adventure, for the fall, going, oh, what would happen if I did that? Chaos will come in if we resist the inevitable or get irritated with delays, but we're using the momentum that we've got. And this is going to apply differently to everybody's lives because we all have a different chart. We all have a different outcome of experiences that we're needing to heal and learn. But using that momentum to be able to grow and the downtime, the hermit to come back to ourselves and heal. We used last week to tie up some loose ends, and it may not be the end, but tying up things that we're not that person anymore. We're clearing some clutter to come back to that place of balance because we're going into later in the month that Libra energy, which is going to be that balance which we're preparing for now. Full life and purpose reevaluated comes from being the best that you can be. As I moved through the week, the card that came up was a new idea. And the new idea card came up with the message of new ideas are coming in the form of many signs and experiences. Can you see what is being lit up in your life for you to see? The light bulb moment is happening now when we know what we want and how we should be, who will help us and what we need to focus on. Despite challenges which we all face, including myself, the light in a situation helps us to flow freely to see what our life is about right now. Where was the light shown to you last week? I was really touched by all the people who messaged me to say that they cried listening to the podcast that I did with Emilio, that they were experiencing physical sensations from the transmission that came through. That could have been your light bulb moment. It's happening now despite the challenges that we're all facing in our own lives. During the week last week, where new meaning is coming in, we're being shown that we're able to decipher things now because there's a new revelation for all of us. Focus on what matters. Focus on you. The new idea had come up for us last week because we are being shown what is important now. And if you need to be heard, say it. If you need to act, do it. It's like coming back to ourselves. I feel like I'm not even the same person anymore that I was a week ago. And that is because I've been doing my healing work. I've been retreating into the hermit mode. I have not been inflated or deflated by anything that has been happening. Everything is in a neutral, balanced ground for me right now. And I don't always feel like that. I'm a woman. I have emotions. I have all of the things that come up, but it's how we choose to respond to that. And that night when I had the meditation for myself and saw the hangman, but Spirit also showed me the hermit with the snake following behind, I realized that the hermit was the number 9, which is the 9th month of this year, and it's also the year 9 for next month. And we're going into the month of September now, which is the preparation for next year, I feel very strongly. Now, when Spirit gave me the insight that the hermit energy is what is with us at the moment, with the kerosene lamp, for me, my cards show the little the pentagon, the star. And it's because we're restoring this own belief in ourselves. This may mean that your beliefs are changing as many are questioning their faith. Okay, I've got a situation to tell you. So most of you would have heard about the journey to America. I met significant people that taught me so much. Every interaction I learned. On the way back, there was a bit of resistance. And it was interesting because everyone I met in Austin, amazing. I honestly had the time of my life on my own. On the way back at the airport in Houston, was it Houston? Yeah, flown into Houston. There was a person that I got quite irritated with because that I was in line, 2 people in line, 1 person was being served. I was there. I was waiting for about 30 minutes to ask for something. And this man just bypasses me and goes straight to the counter, very entitled. And I was like, okay, how am I going to react to this? I was angry and irritated. So I said, can I ask you a question? And he kind of looked at me all shocked. I said, have I missed something? Is there something that I needed to do to be served in the order that we're lined up in? Or have you done something to be more special? And he's like, oh, well, I've got an issue and I've been waiting 20 minutes. I said, well, you don't need to be so inconsiderate. I've been waiting here a long time. And I realized that the resistance that I was feeling in the moment is because my beliefs were changing, in that being spiritual doesn't mean that you don't stick up for yourself or back yourself. I was just upset that someone was so tunnel vision that they couldn't be considerate in seeing that I was waiting, and I was waiting a long time because their problem was more important than mine in their mind. And I think why I'm questioning this about the hermit card is because if we spend enough time being self-aware, we all are going to put our foot in it sometimes. I do too, because I'm a person, and sometimes I've got 10 million things going on and I'm trying to get things done and I say the wrong thing or my tone's wrong or something. But it's like we're leading the way by how we respond to things. And when I asked Spirit, during my meditation, what else do you want me to talk about? They said, put your stake in the ground. And I was like, oh, yes, because the hermit card, the stake sometimes turns into the snake. And it's to reflect on the power that we have to change and focus on ourselves and what we believe. Now, the other story is coming. I get on the plane and I sit next to a lovely woman, and we start talking, and her story is this. She was traveling back to Australia because her father was dying. She was preparing to go back and it be the transition that the father was going to make from his physical into spiritual. And she asked me what I did for work. And I could feel, because I always feel in my body how the other person feels, because that's my job. While I never read anybody, and, I'm minding my own business when I'm not working. And this is how she questioned me. And so I said to her, look, I just got heightened intuition and I use that to help people. Her first reaction, it wasn't a response. Well, what's your faith? I'm a Christian, she said. And I said, oh, that's awesome. I said, everybody should have their faith. I said, I grew up in the way when I told you that everything is open. I said, my mum has Jesus at her altar. She's got Mother Mary. She's got Shiva. She's got Lord Ganesha. I said, that's how I operate. I said, everything is one. And she kind of wanted to defend her faith, whereas I was encouraging her to have that faith. And this is why when I said people are questioning their faith, I'm hearing that a lot from many people who have been brought up one way, going, well, maybe I can be more open to everything else. Maybe there's merit in why beliefs have been passed on, because they're may have been gods thousands and thousands of years ago that walked the earth, that enabled us to come in as people and learn from what they left behind for us. And right now, with this peacock, snake, focus, life force energy, it's all coming in to reveal things, reveal where your wisdom is coming from, to create more memories that the soul can be nourished with, rather than the fears that I help so many people clear, and also clear from myself. And for those of you, that are following these Monday mantras diligently, the hanged man and the hermit and the snake and the peacock are all coming in together, working together within all of us. So be receptive to your inner guidance. Put your stake in the ground. Like for me, I put my stake in the ground to always be just myself and represent myself as honestly as I can here in my Monday mantras and when you have sessions with me. And being committed to who I am and my worthiness, which then helps you. But there's no more distractions now. This is our time. It's our time now to really be more of who we are. Your extended meaning of the Monday mantra, having meaning in life, starts from retreating into who you are within. So who are you within? What do you mean to yourself? Oh, this is something else. I listen to a couple of podcasts. I do this in the morning when I'm cleaning the house and getting ready for my day. And like I said to you, I don't personally listen to spiritual podcasts because I want to stay true to what I learned directly from my spirit guide, so that it's not anybody else's words or anybody else's anything. It's mine. And it was so funny. I was listening to a podcast and it was about dating, I think. And it was a psychologist talking. And so I was interested in what he was having to say. And do you know what reference he gave? I haven't heard this in a long, long time. He's like, so I want to give you the analogy of people peacocking themselves. And literally a whole segment was about people peacocking themselves. And I was thinking, this is another interesting thing to consider, because the peacock messaging has come through this. Are we showing off in some way to prove our worth to other people? And I questioned myself on this, going, no, I don't feel like I've got nothing to show off about. I'm just being me. But because I heard that, it came back to why I received this particular message on what do you mean to yourself? Because from there you find your purpose, because you're not looking to other people to tell you who you are or what you mean to them. Sure, it's nice to hear sometimes that we are loved and that we are cared for and that people appreciate us. That's not about stopping that, but it's not using it as the fuel to move you forward even more, to find your purpose. My purpose comes from within me, and then it just happened to be validated by other people where they're wanting what I do to help them. What do you mean to yourself? We tend to live for other people or wait for them to tell us what we mean to them on some level. Have you been looking for this feedback? And please, by all means, we all need feedback sometimes, but we don't want to get our purpose muddied when we lose meaning in who we are, because we must stand in our power of our inner guidance. There was a lot to think about, but we've got talking a lot today, but sometimes it's the nature of the Monday mantras. But remember, I am here for you, but I am only one person. And this requires some understanding and patience on everybody's part. I know a lot of you have emailed, and Kieran's doing her very best to reply to all of you. Please, if you're emailing us, check your email. If you're filling in the form on the website, check your email addresses are correct, because we are getting some bounce back saying the email address is not right. And so if you haven't entered it properly, we can't message you. But remember, if you go on a wait list, it'll be the right time when you do see me. But this is why I have the app, because I teach on there. You have access to my healing on there. This is why I have personalized meditations that you can order if you're really looking for me to infuse my frequency for you into that. There are mini readings. There are other ways to connect with me, okay? And Kieran is the person to email, soul33@gmail.com. If you need help renewing the app or becoming a member, soul33@gmail.com also. And once you get to know the app and navigating it, we're working on making it better. I've kept the price as minimal as possible. It cost me thousands and thousands of dollars to keep the app up to update it with all the phone technologies. So all your subscriptions go towards me creating that for you, so that you have your spiritual toolbox with the Beacon by Soul33. And a lot of you have been emailing. Kieran was telling me to gift the app. We've got an easier way to do that now. So if you want to gift the app, Christmas presents, birthday presents, it's only $60 for the year. So Kieran, again, soul33@gmail.com. And thank you so much for all the messages and your patience. Okay, this week's Monday mantra. Unity of soul and self is reflected in my experiences. Unity of soul and self is reflected in my experiences. The other morning I got up quite early and my eye was drawn to the crescent moon. Even though we're starting the week on the new moon, the crescent moon was really about the hermit, because it was the waning crescent, because new moon is no moon. And here now in the 9th month of the year, we are uniting our soul and our self. This is why when I meet people as a client for the first time, I don't want you to speak. It's not my ego going, oh, don't talk to me. It's not that. I do not want to know your personality, because I am looking to see whether your soul and yourself are aligned, or whether your soul is telling me something different. And with this new moon energy, it is very much that cleansing energy. It's an interesting new moon, because I feel it's because we've got an eclipse later on this month, and so the moon phases are a little bit different this month. But we are restoring our belief this month in September, and we're starting that this week. Now remember, with the Monday mantras, we live in a world of polarity. So you might have situations come up that are making you question your belief, that are making you lose belief, because the lesson is to come back to believing and the restoration of that. And so, of course, in the world where we are having the opposites, we also will want to cleanse any stimulus that is going on that is overloading us. Now, I've got a million Virgo people in my life that are very close to me. They like things practical. They like things clear, no nonsense type of people, don't want to be overloaded. That's very much going to be part of this week's energy also. With the new moon, we do want to set our intentions. Like, sometimes I'll come on here and you'll be like, oh, Gaia seems flat today, or she seems, and I'll just tell you, because that's just what's happening energetically. It's real life. But I feel this heightened energy, this cleansing energy, to be able to set new intentions. but not from a place of the time I was talking to you about with the peacock and the snake representation. We don't want to be feeling rushed, even though we might be. We don't want to be feeling intolerant, but we might be. And we want to convert that energy into what we need and want right now and what we need to express without having the expectations of how it's going to show up. Like when I get the how question, nobody knows how. I know in my own life, being as intuitive as I am, I don't know how things are going to happen. I know things are going to happen, but the how is the mystery. It's the fool. It's the let things unfold. And we want to release expectations, but with delegation. When I sat down, I was like, okay, Spirit, show me what is the tarot card for this week. And it's the Three of Pentacles. Now, the Three of Pentacles is collaboration, it's teamwork, it is working together, it is the role everybody is playing to achieve the bigger things. And it's not about, again, the being inflated, like, oh, I'm the best in the world or anything. It's how we're all working together. Like, I learned from you all the time. That's how I do what I do, is because all my clients have been students. So that Three of Pentacles is coming in this week. And I was guided to talk about it when I'm bringing up delegation. Now, remember, we're also working with our spirit team. We're working with the totem animals that are coming in, but releasing expectations of the how. It's a time of setting intentions from the stock take we're doing in our lives, the cleansing, the clearing, the really coming back to, no, this is what I want to do. This is my focus. And the question I want to ask you for this week is, what remains in your life that you're wanting to invite in? What is it that you're inviting into your life? What are your priorities? Remembering that the extended meaning of last week's Monday mantra was around the meaning that you're creating in life and yourself. But Spirit wants us to be adaptable, which the Virgos in my life are not adaptable. So it might be a bit of a struggle being adaptable, not realizing that the how wasn't really what you wanted it to be. But being practical, being uncluttered, cleansing with that view of cleansing, the view of you being in unity with your personality, unity with your soul, is going to help you have the release that you need to move forward, to go where you need to go. Focused intention on your desire that you're inviting in. No expectations, but knowing the best possible outcome. I'll give you an example of that. I knew that my work would reach a lot of people over time, but I never had the expectation because I didn't care. I just knew that it would, but so that's the balance that we're getting. It's like, honor your knowing. Focus on your intention, but don't have the expectation of how, because like I said, who knows? That's the mystery of the infinite possibilities that could come in, that makes life the adventurer, to be the adventurer in your life. Spend some time organizing your life, and Spirit says take a deep dive into particular areas. This may not be physical clearing and physical deep dive. This may be emotional, because we want to know what makes up the whole picture of your life. Pace yourself as you're creating a powerful unity in your experience, and possibilities are increasing from this clearing. It's a real time of believing in yourself, what you may mean to yourself, what you're finding within yourself through the situations that are coming in. And trust may be wavered, but we need to come back to believing, to the unity. Follow your voice, share and express yourself authentically. It may come from a place of feeling like you need to speak up now, but there is a unity of events waiting to synchronize to help you. Take it all as help towards this union. So, with the Monday mantras, go through your week with curiosity. Go through your week asking yourself the questions. You may have things present more easily, like how Krishna came to me at the tailor. And, another thing that came up, this was super interesting. So there's a show in New Zealand that, I think it's called My Mystery or something, and I came across it the other day, and I love these kind of DNA type of shows, Ancestry type of thing, and I watched an episode. And the episode was of a man in New Zealand who was tracing back his ancestry to slavery in Antigua. Now, I really loved that episode. And the next morning, I go somewhere and I walk into this place that I don't ever normally go. It was another place, don't normally go. And there was the man from that show. And I was like, Spirit was showing me how aligned I am to receiving the messages that I need. So what I want to add here is that the ancestral patterns are coming up to be broken, because that man was looking to piece the ancestry of the African slaves that he came from, even though he was of indigenous Māori descent here in New Zealand. But it was something that came to me where I watched the show and was really like amazed looking at the connection back to the ancestry in Antigua. But then for Spirit to place him right in front of my eyes, I was like, okay, this is about the ancestral things that are coming up. So the deep dive may be in exploring your family tree. Okay, that's coming through naturally. We're going to take a moment now. Now, if you're driving, please do not close your eyes, but I want you to close your eyes if you can. Now, I want you to know yourself this week, to discover more of your soul, to work in conjunction with your personality, yourself, and to allow the Three of Pentacles energy of collaboration, your collaboration with Spirit, your collaboration with your supporters here on earth, and the collaboration of those who will come in to trigger you so that you can come back to having to believe and trust in yourself. Giving you also the invitation of bringing in your desires and intentions. Your September meditation is up on the app. You can do this with your homework. Remember, the homework is just a guide, so you know you can do one a day, you can do all four or five a day, whatever I've chosen. Add in the others and keep healing yourself, keep discovering yourself. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget, I am here for you, but I am only one person. So please be understanding of my ability to be there for everyone all the time. This is why I have the app and all the other services, because there will be some way to connect with me, some way to ask questions, some way to heal if it's not with me in person. Sending you so much synchronized energy for this union and restoring your belief in your life. Email Karen at soul33@gmail.com if you need any help at all. And until next week.